What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Beyond Two Souls and it getting a TV show. Now, this was not on my bingo board. When you think of the Quantic Dream games, I do think Beyond Two Souls gets the short end of the stick. Now, I am here to say, okay, I'm going to defend this game. I actually do like this game quite a bit. I don't think it's a masterpiece by any means, but I've always liked it, even back when it first came out. I actually replayed it, think maybe last year or the year before, and honestly, I think I maybe like it more now than I did back then. I prefer Heavy Rain. It's the game that I kind of grew up on, like getting into Quantic Dream and just, I don't know, that cinematic, choice-based stuff. Detroit Become Human, I think, is a pretty darn good game. I don't know, like David Cage has obviously muddied the waters, and there's a lot of stuff you can get, deep into. We're not necessarily here to do that, but what we are here to do is talk about, Elliot Page's production company, which I didn't even know that existed, but they've actually obtained the rights to this game, or to the, property, the IP, to make a TV show off of it. So there's really not any details. And look, ultimately, you got things like a Life is Strange show still supposed to be happening. That was announced like 6, 7, 8 years ago or whatever. There's a long list, actually, of gaming adaptations, and they're always being added to. And sometimes they end up happening. Sometimes they're in limbo for like 10 years. Okay, so could this end up happening? Yeah, I mean, this is more of the age where this stuff happens, right? But it could just go onto the long, stack of freaking properties that they say they're going to do something with, and then nothing ever ends up happening. Now, what's interesting, at least in my opinion, well, I already kind of said the beginning part, like, this is the one that they're choosing to do. Now, maybe it's because it was Elliot Page, production company, so he's like, oh, I was in that game once upon a time, I'll take it. Maybe that's the reason. But the other things to consider, okay, I mean, I guess you could bring up the David Cage stuff. Like, there was a lot of talk back then, and that's really when the David Cage, kind of like negativity started. So it's maybe like, okay, does he have anything to do with it? Probably not, or this probably wouldn't happen. And number two, PlayStation is not attached. So this is a PlayStation, I don't know if it's a PlayStation IP. I mean, it was literally made for PlayStation. Remember, that was like a second party deal kind of back in the day where that's what they were doing. They made Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and the Detroit Become Human, and then they switched, and now they're no longer, the exclusivity kind of sided, right? It's a more of a third party thing now. So I think the rights were always with Quantic Dream anyway. Not 100% sure, but I'm like 90% sure. So I do believe this deal was not even with PlayStation in the first place, or if it was, they just signed off on it. And if that is actually the case, though, this would be one of the few, right? Because normally they produce their own stuff, and we've been seeing that with all of the stuff that PlayStation's been doing over the last like 3-4 years. So quite interesting, at least in my opinion. Do I think it's gonna work? I mean, honestly, we've talked about this before when it comes to adaptations. In my personal belief, I mean, I always kind of take although I am actually more optimistic than anything when it comes to like the gaming industry, when it comes to these adaptations, I'm normally pessimistic first. They normally have to really win me over, which is maybe how I should be for gaming, but I'm not, but they really have to prove it that they can make a show or a movie or whatever that's better than the game product. Now, this one comes with a lot of baggage, okay? I would say, actually, this comes with more baggage than most of these adaptations. But honestly, that doesn't even change my base stance where it's like, if you're going to do it, you gotta beat the game. And then, I mean, you can have the talk of like, is it even worth doing? You could do that. But to me, it's like, okay, you've got to match or beat it to even make it willing, or make me willing to like give you a chance. And most times that doesn't happen. I mean, like, what adaptations have been better than it? I'd say Twisted Metal was different than it and really, really good. But I don't know. I don't think The Last of Us beat their game, even though I think the show was actually pretty darn good. It didn't beat the game. Uncharted's movie didn't beat the game. I'm trying to even stick maybe even just with PlayStation, right? So I don't know. I don't think it's an amazing idea. I don't have too much hope. I will say, okay, if you can get Willem Dafoe in this, that would actually be really, really cool. Okay, I mean, he's I don't know. I mean, he's still around. He's aging, but like that, the age doesn't really matter for his character. I will say this though. I do think if I were to do this, I would also do it as a TV show versus a movie. I think most of these should probably be done as a TV show just because they're longer. You can spend some time, specifically Beyond Two Souls, lots of different arcs, lots of different time periods that you're jumping through. You can have those be set, into like 3-episode arcs, and kind of break it down. I actually think it would work more as a TV show than a movie, but again, I mean, generally, normally I would say no to these things, but they happen anyway. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.